Hey, y'all already know what it is. I'm so excited. It's Monday, 8 o'clock. It's Falling to Victory podcast with your host, Tidra Michelle. I'm going to start doing that. Michelle. So I'm super excited. I'm so excited to have my guest on tonight. Y'all know what I said in the beginning of the month. In the beginning of the month, I said, I was just dealing with me about me being by myself. But here we go. We have another guest, and that's because y'all asked. And because y'all asked, I'm going to always try my best to deliver. So I really appreciate y'all, literally. I'm so excited to introduce Bodak, Bodak, a.k.a. Brandon, or Brandon, a.k.a. Bodak. But I'm excited to introduce him. The reason why is because I think it was 2 weeks ago, we were on, he hopped on, and we were talking about daddy issues. That is our topic for tonight. We're in season 2, don't forget. But we started talking about daddy issues, and he left a comment in the chat, and people were like, I think I was blown away. People were like, wait a minute, like what? You're going to definitely tell us about that tonight, so I'm super excited to have you on. So tell the people first who you are.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon, aka DJ Bodak. I am a DJ. Me and TJ, we go to the greatest church. On my regular 9 to 5 is I'm a program manager for a private group home agency, and I advocate for individuals who have developmental disabilities, and just help promote better life for them, and get them out in the community and doing things that they wouldn't be able to do if they were in maybe like a private facility.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. That's my 9 to 5 on the side. I DJ.
Yeah, I love that.
So book me if y'all need me.
Yes, book him if y'all need him. I promise y'all. This is crazy. Me and Kyle was actually just talking about you the other day because I was telling him something. We was talking about something, line dancing or something. And I was like, I said, Brandon knows every line dance song there is to know.
Everyone.
Literally, I gotta say, if I go to any party in Jersey, he's usually DJing. Literally. So yes, he is the one, y'all. I'm not even joking. He knows every line dance that there's possibly to know. I promise y'all. But I'm super excited to have you on again. We are talking about daddy issues. We have dug into daddy issues throughout the week. And one of the things I remember that we've been sharing, for me, it's been a theme. It's literally, it's been, first off, daddy issues, there is no medical diagnosis for daddy issues, but I pulled the definition and it just says the lack of an earthly father that I pulled my definition. The lack of an earthly father that literally disrupts our view of God. So that's not the formal definition. That is my definition. But we've been literally talking about how there is no relationship with that individual that is your father, right? So we've been talking about how that relationship could be visible, meaning he could be in a home, but it could be unhealthy, or you just don't know him at all, right? Or he is distant, or of him, but there has been no relationship. But I know that we talked about abandonment issues, the symptoms. I like that because they're symptoms to me. Anything that we talk about is usually a symptom, whether it be a good symptom or a bad symptom. But the symptoms that we definitely talked about was abandonment issues, trust issues, people pleasing, desperate for attention, recognize the pain caused, whatever the pain is caused. But I remember that one of the things that we talked about last week was seduction. And we said that how it's easy to be seduced into whatever it is that the enemy wants you to do, right? And allow that to take the place of God, right? Because we don't have that earthly father figure there that is leading us or guiding us or whatever it is. But then I also talked about behavior modification and transformation. I was saying, modification is good. Behavior modification is good. We alter our behavior patterns. We try to replace it with something else. But I said it's really a transformation of the heart that has to really take place, because that change of the heart, literally, once our heart is changed, it's like we outwardly then express our modified behaviors. I believe that our behavior then changes. But I wanted to jump in with you so you could just I just gave us an overview, but you can kind of just take anything out of there, what you heard, and then just give us that start of how you grew up. What is one of those symptoms, or what is one of those things that you struggle with, or what is one of those things that you were able to identify early on because your father wasn't present?
So I grew up with my mother, and for a while my mom was it was just me and my mom. It was actually me, my mom, and my grandpa and my grandmother,
Mhm.
and we stayed with them. And then my mom went and got married. She went and did her own thing to somebody that everybody was like, I don't think she's marrying, but she went and married somebody. And then we moved in with it was all of us little family. So now, honestly, that was my first time being exposed to having like a man outside of my grandfather.
Okay. Well, how old was you then?
It's like, ooh, let's say I was between like 6 and like 10
Okay.
for that span of that marriage, like
Yeah.
6 and 10. So and then that kind of like was bad because he wasn't a good man. He actually it was a lot of things that I had went through and I was exposed to because,
Yeah.
because of that, and that changed my view on how I would treat women in certain things and how I viewed women and how that also changed the relationship dynamic between me and my mother. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, for a while, I want to say for a good while. After that happened, like my mother's like mental, it kind of like plummeted and it just wasn't good. So she had to like now my mom, she stays with a family member, but she's like kind of like lost that ability like to be like self sufficient independently because of that.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a lot of like abuse and stuff like that going on in that marriage, and that exposed me. I was a victim of it as well. So it just like that dynamic just changed. So it in turn kind of made me like I love my mom. Don't get me wrong, I love my mother, love her to death. Only get one. I love her.
Right.
But as a younger child, it made me resent her a lot. So
Right.
I cling to the next best thing, which was my aunt who raised me. My aunt took me under her wing and she raised me from seventh grade and up until throughout college and everything. So
Wow.
that whole time from 7 to about high school, I was like really that's when she was like really like instilling like, you know what, you really gotta get a relationship with God. And you need to because you have a lot in you. I was filled with a lot of hatred,
Yeah.
a lot of anger, and
Right.
it was very misplaced. We was living in Pleasantville, like not too far from Atlantic City, and I was getting suspended or in ISS every other day.
Yeah.
To a point where they were like, "Yo, we about to kick him out because like this boy's wild," you know.
Yeah.
And my aunt was like, "Nah, we're not doing that. Um, I'm gonna bring him in so he can live with me and whatnot." So then I was with her and my favorite cousin, and just being up around him, and then like I got a role model, which is my older cousin, and then he done went to the military. So now I'm like, well, it's me, my aunt, and my cousin. So I was just like, was exposed around her. Now she's a good woman, She worked hard, she worked 2 jobs, and she finished her school and got her degree. Shout out to her. Love you, auntie.
Yeah. For
And,
sure.
so I was exposed to seeing that, so it was a good thing. It's like, okay, all right,
Right.
well, like this is not my mother, but she took me on.
Yeah.
She even said she's like, you're not, blood can't make us any closer. So it's just like I wasn't even, and she's my aunt by marriage, by the way, not by blood. This is my aunt.
Wow.
Yeah, she's my aunt by marriage, and she just was like, nah, you come with me.
Yeah.
And she raised me up. So that's when it kind of came to a point where I was like, I want to say I was about 17, no 16, and I started to really feel conviction about how I was treating my mom. Like she would come around and I would call her by her first name, or
Wow.
I would call my aunt mom around her.
Oh.
I was being like real because it was a lot. I was going through a lot,
Right.
and then it was bad. But then like as I got older and started to really understand, like you know what, this is not right. I really need to work on that. I really started working on the relationship with me and my mother. So we were working on that, and it was getting better from 16 to about 20. And then after I hit 20, that's when it got really good because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get this to God and whatnot. And
Yeah.
then, but no, it was good from 16 to about 18, and then went from 18 to 19 was when it went down a little bit because of how I met my father.
Mm.
So um just to dive into that real quick. I'm just gonna dive right in. I'm just gonna go in it.
Wait, hold on.
All right.
I don't know if we ready. Hold on. I do just want to make this comment because I feel like that's so good. Dee Dee says kids hold a lot of resentment when put in difficult situations. And I really don't feel like we as parents realize that what we go through, our kids go through.
Yes.
Right. And then I literally, when you were talking, I literally heard abandonment, because it seemed or appeared like when you got close to people, they left, right? Or whatever it was. And I'm like, I
Mhm.
literally was like, abandonment. But I think that was so good. Look, I'm like, hold on, because you can't just dive right in. No, but I think that's really good what you said though, because that literally happens so many times and we don't realize, and I'm saying we just as that general parent thing, we don't realize what we go through, right? And remember, I even said it when you was made the comment. I said that abusive relationship I was in.
Yeah.
And then I said I had enough. I think the day my daughter saw it, I said, okay, this is enough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
because of that, though, no lie, it's kind of like, God, thank you for erasing some of those memories, right? But it's like the ones of the children that have to live through those memories, what you were just saying,
Mhm.
literally living through each memory of what happened. So, okay, now I think we're prepared. Go ahead.
So I was about, I'm working on my relationship with my mom. I'm going to, to visit her more. We're going out. We're doing things, and I'm seeing the effort. She paid for my prom ticket. She wanted to be present. She was making it known. And then as I got older, I started to realize, like, yo, she didn't choose
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. As a kid, you like, man, you chose it. You
Right.
chose it.
Right.
No, life was life, and
Yeah.
that's this is the card she was dealt, and she did what she could do best with those cards.
Right.
So as I got older and more mature, I started to realize that it was just like, all right, I'm holding on to like that hurt little boy. It's time to let that go. Now, as I got to that point to let that go, that's when my father stumbles up. So now, growing up, I always knew I had siblings. For some reason, I just never knew like where they came from, but I knew I had siblings. It's 13 of us. It's 13 of us in total.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So we used to live in this little court, and it was like me and my mom, she had her own spot. We lived right here, and then I had two sisters that lived across the way. And my mom would say, "Yo, those are your sisters." So I would always come over there as a bad little boy, come over there and knock on their window while they sleeping and whatnot or whatever. And then like I bonded with my sisters. And then we moved and I never seen them again. So
Wow.
that was from like maybe age 6 to about 8. That's when my mom met that man and we left. And we moved.
Yeah.
So never seen him again. I'm 18. I just graduated. I'm getting ready to go off to college. I went to Virginia State. Shout out to VSU.
You went
And
to Virginia State?
VSU. And
Shout out to VSU. My cousin went there.
I was getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to go to school. I'm getting ready to ship off. And then I get this message on Facebook. I think this is when Facebook Messenger had like just came out. And it said Bing. I'm like, yo, who's this? And I remember my sister's name. Her name is Keisha. So Keisha popped up and it was just like, oh my God, I've been looking all over for you. I've been trying to find you. This is when you was going on Facebook. You could find people when you lost.
Right.
So she was finding. She was like, I was hitting up so many Brandon Taylors, and I was like hoping it was you, or I didn't know if it was you, and you just like you didn't want nothing to do with us, because I do have a sibling that don't want nothing to do with us. But she was like worried about that, and I was just like, yo, I'm like, wait, I remember you. She's like, yeah, oh my God, where are you at? Da, 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 da. I was like, oh, well, I live in Glassboro. And she was like, you live in Glassboro? I live in Blackwood. I'm coming right there. That's 15 minutes away. So all my life, we didn't even know we was around each other. So it's gonna get a little crazier. So she comes to the I told my aunt, I'm like, yo, my sister hit me up. She's like, sister, I'm like, yeah, my sister Keisha. And she just like, so she called my mom. She got sister Keisha. She's like, yeah, she got sister Keisha. She come to the house right there. So my mom came over and Keisha pulled up and she see me, she just breaks down. And she's just like, oh my God, and we hugged. I remember her. It's like I didn't see so long,
Yeah.
but I remembered. So I
Yeah.
remember her. So I'm like, oh my god, yo, since she was like, oh my god, I'm glad I found you. I'm sorry that we had to meet like this. I'm like, what's going on? She was so dad died.
Oh
So
wow.
I'm 18, never met this man.
Yeah.
I'm like, dad died. I'm like, okay.
I was about to ask. So, what was those feelings like? Because, like, all right, Dad,
I
all right,
didn't know
yeah,
what to feel.
yeah,
I was like, oh man. I was like, your dad died? Like she's like, our dad died.
your dad died.
I'm like, oh. And she's like, yep, and the funeral was this Saturday.
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay. So as it started to sink in a little bit more, and I was sitting, I was thinking, I was just like, dang, I have to go to this funeral. She's like, yeah, we want all the siblings that were all white. So we all can identify each other and all this other stuff. So I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever. So I'm just sitting, and it's Monday, so I got a whole like what 6 days to think about this,
Yeah. Right.
and I'm just like sitting, and I'm just really thinking like, wow, I'm about to meet my dad, but it's at his funeral, and then my aunt is like, I'm gonna support you. My cousin, the one who went off to the military, he's back, and he's snapping. He's like, man, come on, we going, yeah, come on, let's go. And he's supportive though, but he's like, how I
Yeah.
want to be angry, he was angry like that for me.
Right. Right.
So I was just, I'm 18. I got all this stuff going on. I'm excited. I'm going to go to college. I'm just like, I got all this stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I really don't know how to feel. And then I got triggered because my mom was like, yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm wearing to the funeral. I gotta look good and other stuff. And then I got mad. I'm just like, you're not gonna be one of the baby moms coming to the funeral. Like, what's up with we're not doing that. So I was like, if you come to the funeral, you'll come in because you're gonna support me. And she was just like,
Right.
well, she's like, oh no, that's why I'm coming. I'm just like, all right, I hope that's why you come. We ain't coming to see what the rest of the baby moms look like. So fast forward,
Wait, I gotta pause you though, real
yeah,
quick,
pause me.
because I need you to talk about, because I heard you say my cousin felt the way I wanted to feel,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
I didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
So tell me why you weren't mad, because I would have been pissed.
So
How you rock, mom, right? We already have this rocky relationship. So
yes,
how dare you rob
yes,
me
yes,
of
yes.
not knowing who my father is?
You just took the words out. That is literally, and that's how like when I see like moms who like willingly keep their child from the father, it triggers me because it's just like, how dare you
Rob.
like dictate that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if the dad ain't good to you. He left me for this other woman or whatnot.
Right.
Let the child form. Like I was literally
Yeah.
robbed of my own. All my siblings experienced my father, and they were able to formulate their own opinion.
Right. Right.
I never had a chance to say, you know what?
Right.
I like him. I'm gonna rock out with him. You might like
Right.
him,
Right. Right.
rock out with him. But it's just like I gotta go off of stories that I'm getting told from everybody else and from what everybody else is telling me. My dad was a bad dude. so it just like I was like, but then my sister Keisha, he lived with her, and she was like, he's funny, like you're so goofy like him, and I was like, oh my god, you sound like dad. I'm just like, oh man, well, I'm like, I don't know, and everybody.
But what was those emotions like?
Because it was like at that time, it was just.
I know, I'm like, what's those emotions? Because I can only imagine,
it was a lot, and I think I'm 18, so there was a lot for me to process.
Right.
Mix that in with all that testosterone and all that other stuff going on. Like it was a lot. I was angry. I was sad. I was happy, excited. Like, oh wow, I'm gonna figure out who my siblings are. But it's just like, yo, like, why I gotta meet this man at this funeral? Then it's like, I'm at my mom. I'm like, yo, I really don't want my mom to come because she gonna look like some bird. I'm like, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot. But my cousin was snapping for me, and when he was snapping for me, it actually gave me comfort. It was like, thank you. Like,
yeah.
Nobody support me. I know he supports.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just that's how I felt.
Yeah.
It was just like at that time. Now, as we got closer, the day before the funeral, I was sick. I got super sick. I didn't even know why. I was like, my stomach was hurting. I was nervous. I was throwing up, and I was just like a nervous wreck because I was like scared. He was just like, yo, listen, this is part of you becoming a man. This is part of you stepping into what you need to step into. We're gonna face this. You're not alone. You know, that's
Right.
what he told me before we left out to go to the funeral. We leave to go to the funeral. I'm just looking for people in all white. And I see them. They all outside and we're chilling. Now, I have an uncle, my mom's brother. I don't know who told him about this funeral, but he decided he pops up too. So my cousin is like, oh, like, what he doing here? So he pops up. My mom is there, and then they in there busting it up, laughing. Oh, girl, I ain't see you. This is that long. Oh, what's up, man? So my cousin like, yo, who that? Oh, that's Mike. This is Mike's sister. My dad was Mike. My dad name was Michael. He was like, oh, that's Mike's sister. That's my cousin. This is my great aunt. This is my. He was like, so why don't Brandon know that?
Right. So she knew everybody, but then never introduced you.
Knew.
So now she's
Went to
robbing you
high
from a
school.
relationship.
Went to high school with everybody.
No way.
So he's like, are y'all serious? Are you serious? It's gonna get more and more. So I was just like, are you serious? Like, why doesn't he know anybody? Now I'm sitting there like,
Right.
I'm like, oh man, this is nuts. Like, all right, this is nuts. So then we're all inside of the funeral home, and we're sitting down, and all the siblings sitting in the front, and I'm sitting next to my brother, the one I live with now. He's sitting next to me, and he looking at me, and I'm looking at him. Now, I had a little job working at the mall because mom was like, "You're not working this house, I'm not working." So,
Right. Right.
so I had
Right.
a little job. I was a little key holder manager at PacSun. So I was going there, open up the registers and all that. I feel myself, you know what I'm saying? And I was the opening manager that day, and there was this guy in there shopping, and I just felt compelled just to get this man a fire discount. I probably could have got fired. I don't know him, but I just felt compelled to give him a crazy discount. I bought him he brought all these clothes, and I gave him like 50% off. Not to know this is the man I'm sitting next to at the
Your brother.
my brother. My sister was security at the JC Penney. She would always come in the store and look at the vans, and I would talk to her. I remember she was like, "You work at PacSun?"
No way.
I was like, "Yeah," and she just looks at the casket and she's like, "This jerk," like she was like, she's like, "This is why I don't like him." Like she was just like,
Yo, that's crazy.
and he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, and he's like, "Yo, you work at PacSun?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was just like, he's like, "You're my little brother, man." And I'm just like, I'm looking, I'm like, "Oh, you got him all white." So do I. I'm like, "We brothers?" And he just looked, he just like, he's like, "It's gonna be a long day." He just sits there.
Yeah, right.
So it's just like, wow, this is crazy.
But even in that, so I felt like God is so intentional because
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's
Because
like, how did I know? Like, how did God know? Like, you gonna meet this your brother? Look out for him. No, if that was my brother, I'd probably be like, "Hey man, everything's free. Just go ahead, take it." You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
I think
God is very intentional about what He does. I feel like, and it's
he still
crazy.
has the outfit to this day. Like, he still has the outfit. I'm never throwing this away. Like, I'll never get rid of it.
Right, because it's symbolic. It's literally the day that I met my little brother and didn't even know he was my little brother.
I'm saying just that moment right there. That's when I think I felt an emotion that I could pinpoint, and the emotion was, because I always grew up an only child, and I never had.
Yeah.
I always wanted like. I know my cousin is my cousin, but he's like, I'm your brother, and he is my brother. But it was never like, this is my brother.
Yeah, right.
When I see him, I felt that.
Yeah.
Immediately. I was like, oh shoot, okay. So I have a big brother.
Yeah.
And that sounds a little corny saying that. But,
no, it does not, because I'm the only child too, by my mother and my father. So I know exactly what you mean.
I felt that. I was just like,
yes.
Oh, I got, okay. Oh wow. Like, all right, I got a brother. He's tall like I'm tall. We cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It was just, that's why I was feeling. And then we were going on to the funeral, and they're doing they had some guy in there singing who couldn't sing at all. He sounded horrible. And we're just going through it. And then my sister goes up to the one that I know. She goes up there, she's talking, she's crying, she's a nervous wreck because he lived with her. And then she for some reason, like nobody was looking at her, but she just locks eyes with me. And the worst thing that I could think, I'm like, I hope she don't actually come up here and speak. She looks at me and she's like, I'm gonna have my little brother Brandon come.
Brandon, wait, I don't mean to be laughing, but I'm just like, yo, this is unbelievable.
I can write a book. I can definitely write a book.
Wait, but how do you speak about a man you never knew?
You don't know. And this is how I knew like God was with me, because as I'm walking up there, my cousin's in the back. Tell him, let him have it. Let him know. He's back there like snapping quietly. He don't
right.
But he like, but tell him. I don't care. Tell him. So I just go up there and I'm at the podium and I just kept it being with them. I was just like, how y'all doing? I'm Brandon. And for some of you who probably don't know, this is actually my first time meeting my dad. And everybody was like,
because that's how Black people do. That's how we do.
And he was like, he's the only one clapping now. He's like,
your cousin was not clapping in the back.
And I was like, you know, I don't have many words to say, but if it's one thing that he is good for, I'm glad that he allowed all my siblings to come and be in the same room.
Yeah.
And I went and I sat down. And then as I sat down, my brother gave me a fist bump. He was like, yeah, that was cool, though. And after that, I remember the funeral was done. And then a lot of things started to get exposed.
Yeah.
I learned some things about my grandfather, and I learned why my dad wasn't in my life. So mind you, I told you, I grew up with my grandfather. My grandfather was a pastor. He's old school. My mom went and got pregnant, and he was just like, nope, she better have this baby down there. You're gonna come up here. It was just like that. So she had me, and he sent her down there. It was just like, you know how.
Yeah.
He old school, and he literally chased my dad away. So I found out that honestly, just to be raw, like the real reason why I didn't know my father, because my grandfather chased him out, and he was like, I don't want to see your son, never. So you might as well just get that out your head. Don't come over here. Don't ask see Kim. I heard about you. You're a bad man. I don't even want my daughter to touch you. And there it is. Now this is the man I idolize my grandfather. Like I'm a man after him.
Right.
So like you kept me away from my dad. And then my mom, you know, she's not confrontational. She's very spoken. So whatever grandpa say, that it go.
Right.
So that played into it, and it was just like a lot of just like stuff that was just really just like I said, it was coming to the light. And then
did you talk to your mom and ask her why not later? So even though when you were younger, it was because your mom is soft spoken, and you know it's crazy. And look, I could talk about that daddy issue too, but like literally not feeling like you have a voice. You know what I mean? When you have a voice, but it's like you can't go against what the norm is, the culture norm is, or what the rule is. You know, the generational rule in the house is, or whatever it is, but. How about later? Why not when I turned 18 and I was grown and you just gave me the information and sent me to go see him?
And as a kid growing up, I will always inquire about my dad. Hey mom, where's my dad? Where's my dad at?
Yeah.
And the only thing I would get is he's in jail. He's in jail. He's in jail. And she wasn't lying though. He was in jail. But he was in and out. Child support.
Right.
Child support there. He kidnapped my little sister, and they called him, and like it was a lot. And my dad was all over the place. He was doing a lot. But then I heard a lot of stories about him, and I didn't hear a lot of bad stories, but it was
right.
Not a bad stories. There was a good amount of good stories. It was like, yeah, man, I love your dad, man. He's funny, man. He a good dude. But he punched me in my face one day and took my last $20. I was just like, well, dang, man. I just like shoot. And what always made me upset was because when I heard some of the bad things about him, how he was a woman abuser. My dad was a drug addict and certain things like that. And people say, "Oh wow, you look like Michael." Michael Spillane. That used to piss me off, like, really bad, and I had to give that to God. So now, since once I was able to get older, like once I was older, like I said, I was still maturing. But from
Right.
like once that funeral happened, I was around more and more people who knew my dad because I was obviously now I'm exposed to my brother.
Right.
I'm hanging out with him a lot more. He's bringing me around the family that
Right.
they already knew, and they're like, "Yo, this is this. Oh, this the missing one. This the one that was missing. Yo, he looked like Mike more than any of y'all. Like you just looking at. I'm just like, and it used to really turn me. I used to get upset. I would have an attitude in my face. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't like him.
Is it because wait, is it because you know how it is like when oh man, because he was missing, but you didn't know all of this, right? So
Yeah.
because he was missing, so now you're saying these things and you're associating me with these bad things. But I
Yes.
never even got a chance to know him for who he really was. But now you're associating me and attaching my name to the bad things he does. You know what I mean? Not saying, oh, he's a drug addict, you're a drug addict, but I just mean like, oh, wait, your dad was this or your dad was this and you look like him. So now you're saying that I am, you know what I mean? And it's like not that we have to take on that identity because we actually talked about that too, not taking on the names what people call you. So I think not saying that sounds so good, but that's good because it was like I would get mad when people would call me or associate me with the bad things, but I never even got to experience the good things. So why are you associating me with him and there's bad things that he's done? Wow. Oh, so Dee Dee said, how did it make you feel to hear that, oh, he's the missing one?
So like yo, I'm gonna be one. They were talking. The person who said it was like, we were in a good conversation. Like, oh yeah, you know, did I do this, I do that, and at first, cause she thought I was just my brother's friend. And then I was like, oh, he don't like somebody to you. And she was looking, and she was like, "This your brother?" And he's like, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh my god, you look like Michael. You the missing one? This the one miss? This the one that was missing?" And that conversation was literally over just like that. Cause back I wasn't high like the God fearing man you see right now. But back then I was.
Let him know you're a God fearing man.
But it was just like I looked at her and I was like, I'm not doing this. And I walked away. And she's like, did I say something wrong? And my brother laughed it off and he came there and he was like, yo, man, you gotta chill, this is all family. I'm like, yo, I don't look like him. Like,
right.
I don't want to be associated with that. Like, I just told me this man was strung out and on drugs and like that.
Right.
A drug addict. And that really how I took it was like, oh, you tell me I look like I beat women. Oh, I look like I rob people.
Wow.
I look like I've been to jail. And I was taking all that on because that was his image. And people was literally saying, yeah, we see Michael Spiller coming down the street. We put our money in this little pot and put it on the side. He run our pockets like he was Devo or something. Like I'm like, yo, what did my dad do? He was terrorizing. He was terrorizing the neighborhood. And it's just like, that's not me.
Right.
That's not me. But then I had the other side. It was like, yo, your dad had me laughing for days. He's so funny. He's quick on his feet with jokes. I'm like, okay, I probably get this from him. And my brother would tell me that he was just like, even my brother had his own relationship with how like he resented him for a little bit, but towards like the end, like he was coming around, he'd actually be the dad. So he was like, yo, I didn't like him growing up because every gift he got me broke. Like he was like, he get me a bike, I'm riding, the tire falling off while I'm riding. So like all my siblings had their own relationship with my dad, which I actually sat down, which is part of. I think for me that was part of my healing.
Yep, I was just about to say that's literally the healing process.
I was like, I sat all my siblings down, and we all was like in a room. We talked like, yo, what was y'all doing with dad? My one older brother, he was like, yeah, we seen him beat on our mom a couple times. I ain't really like him. Had another sibling say, yeah, he was cool. He came through for me. He was always around, but like, you know, this and third. So everybody experienced him in a lot of seasons.
Yeah, that's so good.
And it was just like, all right, okay, cool. In a way, it kind of felt that along with the help of God, because God's the only thing that really filled voids in you.
Yes.
It was just like I felt that angry little boy inside was calming down.
That's good.
Soothing because it's just like, okay, all right, even though I didn't get a chance to experience it for myself, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, because we share the same blood. So it's
Right.
just in a way I did get to experience him.
Wow.
You know, so that like I said, in order for me to see that though, and to be mature enough to see it like that, that literally was just God. Because if it was up to me, I'd be just rampaging it and probably kick the casket over. I don't know. I'd probably
Not, but that's real. And you know it's crazy. And I'm allowed. Am I allowed to say that I feel like your feelings were valid? So if you would have walked in there and kicked the casket over, like that was
like,
valid. No, like
yeah,
seriously. But
yeah,
you know what I mean. We gotta act
got me civilized.
dignified. But
Yeah,
no, and I'm sure that made you feel that way because I can't even. I'm saying I can only imagine, but I can't
mhm,
even imagine how I would feel if I was meeting him. And I'm thinking about when you were sitting in that room. All I heard was like, so that could have gave you a reason to struggle with your identity. That could have gave you a reason to say push them away and say and take on ownership of no, I'm a orphan. That could have gave you a reason to say, nah, this a bit. You could have played on everything every symptom that comes along with daddy issues. You could have played on all of that. But that is so, when I say mature, because you were still about 18,
yeah,
that is so mature for you to say, even if it was later on, I sat in a room with them and then the little boy in me started to really calm down. And then, but what happened is the man in me started to heal. Like
yes,
that's literally what I heard. The
yeah,
boy started to sit down or calm down, but then the man in me really started to heal and rise up and grab onto those experiences and hold them in a place in my heart. Like now I did get to experience my dad. I don't think that anybody can fathom that. I don't know, because I don't think that I will be able to literally process all of the little girl started to sit down, then I really started to heal, and now I know I have like I don't think that my mind, because I would have played off of my identity crisis, my identity issue, my abandonment. This is why I need for people to affirm who I am. This is why I have trust. Like I could have played off of, you know what I mean? I'm just
yeah,
thinking I would have played off of all of that because the pain,
yeah,
and then to find out later that for real, it ain't even had nothing to do with your mom. But it's like you literally growing up with all that resentment of, hey, you robbed me, but it's like then come to find out it wasn't even your mom, it was your grandfather.
yeah. And that's what I'm saying. So it was just like that. Like
That's powerful.
even that when I found that out, it was just like I was talking to my mom, and then I found myself getting a little snappy with her because I was just like, well, if so, why do we fight harder? And this man,
Right.
it was like I tried. It was time. You think it was times. This is when I found out about my dad's grandma, how she would come. My mom would sneak me out, give me to her, and she would take me. So my brother told me, he was just like, yo, I remember going to grandma's house and seeing a baby there, and he was like,
Mm,
they were just like, this is your brother. He was like, that must be you as a baby, and
that's
I
great.
and I even like and knowing like I said, it was a lot. But then I noticed that like, all right, right now it's not the time to talk to my mom about this because I'm still hurting,
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once I dealt with it and I healed with it, me and my mother we revisited it, and I told her just like, you know what, we don't have to talk, but I do want you to say this. I'm like, I forgive you. You know, I love you.
That's so deep.
And I was like, you know, you don't even have to get into it if you don't want to, but I just want you to know when it comes to my father and whatnot, I forgive you. I'm not upset because I understand the situation that you were in. You did the best that you could do with the cards you were dealt. And that literally took a lot for me to be able to do because at
Yes.
one point of my life, I wasn't even talking to my mother.
Right.
I
Jeez.
wasn't even acknowledging her as my mother.
Right.
So
Right. You was calling her by her first name.
I was, yeah, that was it. So it was just like,
Yeah.
and the only way I was able to do that was because number one, my aunt, I love her, y'all. For I really do love you because she always just like you. I refuse to allow you to sit here and be a victim
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
because
See,
I
and
grew up on my. That's how my.
Toya, I want to meet your aunt. I'm not even joking. Your aunt is a friend, and I'm saying that because Pastor just preached about being a friend, right? But
Yeah,
I mean, this is why it is so important for us to have those people. This is why it's so important for us to be I'm sorry for cutting you off, to be surrounded by these people that will not allow you to be seduced by the enemy, these people that will not allow you to play victim, these people that will help you literally rise up and hold you account. Yo, this is so good, Brandon. All right, talk about that aunt. Tell your aunt, shout out to her.
Yeah.
What's your aunt name?
No, Renee.
Shout out to Aunt Renee. I'm so serious. You are a certified G, like literally, because I'm serious, and I'm not saying that my aunt wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying sometimes the people around us are just not there. They're not where we need them to be.
Mm-hmm.
But say again one more time. What did she say?
She's just like, I refuse to let you grow up and be a victim. I refuse. It's just, she ain't my girl. I'm talking. My aunt is a prayer warrior. Talking about you sleep in the middle of the night. She coming in the room. Oh Jesus! Smack you in your head with the oil while you sleeping. You waking up like, why is my face so greasy? Like she is the prayer warrior. Talking about we move into a new house. What's she in there doing? Putting oil on the walls. And hold on, y'all. We can't move here yet. I gotta pray first. That was her. That's her. That is her. So, you know, she was just like, you're not doing it, you know. And then probably honestly, I would say she is like, you know, along with a few other people, like she is a big influence on how like I really desire to like seek after God for things. Because it's just like, yo, I had my little phase where from 20 to like maybe like 20, 27, I was wilding.
Yeah.
Living like I ain't having God trying.
How old are you now?
I'm 30.
Okay, so yeah. I've known you for 3 years.
Yeah.
I've known you when you was 27, and I remember the words that I said to you.
Hey, you come
to church? I want to see what.
So I was like living like I know God, but just like not even knowing that by me forgiving my mom, that allowed me to pull back another layer to where I was able to realize that as a man, I struggle with identity issues. I struggled with knowing who I am because I didn't know where I came from.
Right. Oh, that's good.
But then once
that nugget, struggling with who I am because I didn't know where I came from.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, because and then if you don't know who you are,
good.
You don't know who you came from, that means you don't even know what your purpose is.
I'm about to throw this iPad.
So I had to literally.
Jesus.
Prayer was, I'll never forget this because JP told me this. JP was always like, yo, bro, your prayer should be like, God, what's my purpose? He said, bro, you need to figure that out. He's like, bro, you need to figure out what your purpose is. Because when you figure out what your purpose is and your purpose that God has for you, you'll find your identity.
And I'm going back to friends again. And listen, I'm serious. And this is why we need friends to hold us accountable. And friends that are not afraid when you are out of order, that are not afraid to tell you that you're out of order and put you back in order. You know what I'm saying? That's what
Pastor was like, what did he say? He said, friends will challenge you on your inconsistencies. And he also, the Bible too, it says that it's better to receive a wound from a friend than 1,000 kisses from an enemy.
Right. So right. You know why? Because and this is funny. This is not funny, but I read because we receive, even though we can't stand as people, who likes to be corrected? When my mom corrected me, I was like looking at her like, I ain't even do that wrong. I play victim all the time. I ain't even do nothing. I'm the good kid out of everybody in this house. And you gonna tell me I'm the one who did something wrong? But it's that thing where, you know, when you're mature, you know it's in love. So it's like, because I want you to be on the right path and I want you to do the right thing. But when it's somebody that you really don't rock with and they're trying to correct you, you don't have the audacity. Look, one of these, you don't have the audacity to say anything to me, because that's how our spirit man will stand up. You know what I mean? Our natural man will stand up. You don't have the audacity to say anything to me or to correct me. But when it's in love, it's just received differently, even when it hurts and stings. Because it comes from pure heart and good intentions when it's in love.
Mm-hmm. So that's why it's like the people that's when, you know, God started dropping these people around me that will hold me accountable. And, you know, and I like I said, you just like naturally, I always would fight against it and just like, you know what, yo, I literally try everything my way. God gave me the grace to do certain things,
Yep.
and then it never like lasted. It was
Right.
all right. You
Those
want
quick fixes.
all right? Go ahead. I let it rock out for 3 months.
Yeah.
That fall apart. You want to do this? You want to try this? Okay. 2 months. If that'll fall
Yeah.
off. You think you found something? All right. I'll let it go for a year. And
Yeah.
you be like, oh man, this is it, and it falls
Right.
right through. And I was just like, you know, yo, God, like I was breaking down, crying. I'm just like, I try everything my way. I said, let me just try your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like ever since like I really started to tap into that, I've been just shooting to levels, stuff that I'm not even qualified for. I'm qualifying for.
Right.
It's like I'm so secure in who I am as a man, who I am
Yeah.
as a person. I know my purpose.
Right.
It's just like, yo, when you're operating like that, yo, it feels so good. And
Yes.
even when God's not doing anything for me, I still be like, you know what? You've done stuff for me before. Like, it's no
Yeah.
way to even
Yeah.
that's cool because I'm looking at all my siblings and all how their lives was, knowing my dad, and just like maybe you kept that away because you didn't want me to go through certain things that they went through.
And isn't that crazy? God will protect us, but it's like we will get an attitude with him because
Like,
we think that what we wanted was
hey, but hey, listen, I'm trying to say
right. Because we wanted that. We wanted the relationship. You know, it's crazy. I just told, oh my God, I can't remember the specific thing, but I was just telling somebody, I said, I can't remember. I think I talked about it last week though, but somebody said something about their daughter, their not daughter, but their child's father was not around. And I said, well, maybe it's because God protected her from him, but he knew that you wanted a child.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it to you, but I'm gonna make sure that he ain't gonna be nowhere because I want to be the dad. And I said, and then it's our job as parents now to extend, to be good stewards and extend the love of Christ to our children.
Yeah.
No, it's that, Brandon, when I say boy, so good. Like, I mean, you said so much that was so good.
I wanted to squeeze in too.
Yes, of course.
A good, like I know I've been saying all these things about my dad, but like one really good thing about him is that in a way, not even in a way, just he actually did teach me. He set the blueprint of how not to be as a man. So
yeah,
I thank him for that, for teaching me that. All right, you see how I did it. I want you to be the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I want you to be present. I want you to
I
want you to be married. I want you to have kids with intentions.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's just
that's good.
I always, ever since then, I always be like, I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
have all these baby moms. In total, I think he had like 8 baby moms at the funeral.
Jesus.
And I don't know how they always at the casket at the same time.
I knew. I was about to say what? How? No, but
I was like, I'm up there. I'm like, look at this. Look at this. They always up there, like, just up there. I don't know, reminiscing.
Right, reminiscing with each other because they probably knew each other because they probably was all from around the way.
They looking like, you mess with that too? Me too, man. This is up there, all of them lined up around the. I was like, man, he went out like a pimp. I think about that. I'm just like that, and I was at the time. I was mad. I was furious. I was like, you look like a bird up there, and she was up there. She was like, hey, how you doing, girl? You got a kid with him too? I was like, oh God. It was like, you get it, baby. You get it, baby. Right.
Yo, I'm cracking up.
He like Oprah.
Right. So I think, Brandon, I have to say this because when I say this was so good, but I have to say that I feel like you just went through, I'm trying to find my notes real fast, but you just kind of just even went through like exactly everything that I said, just about acknowledging, repenting, acknowledging the pain, receive God as Father and believe what he really says about you. It's like you went through all those steps. What I put: forgive, recognize the pain, repent, believe him as I believe what he says about you and receive him as father. It's like literally you went through all of those steps and you went through a heart transformation, like literally. So even though, and in that when your heart started healing and you were able to identify that the little boy in you started to calm down, but then the man in you, because that's pretty much what you were saying, started to heal and started to rise up and just trying to figure out, like you said, who am I and what is my purpose and my identity. And I'm so grateful for JP. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, again, men are hard. You know what I mean? We try. I'm not a man because I said we. Let me take that back. I'm not a man. I'm a woman.
Woman.
No, but let me see what I know for a man, that sometimes men, they really do try, they put on a facade, like they're hardcore because that's how they were raised. And I see it again. I teach high school, so I see it with my young 18, 17, 16-year-old boys. I ain't doing this. But it's like deep down inside, you have a little boy in there that I can identify and talk to. So you just want me to love you? Is that what you're asking me? And then you're going to do it? So it's just, again, I love what you said, though, because, again, men, I should say, I can't really speak because I'm not a man, but I'll tell you what they show. The outward appearance is always tough, right? Because, again, I believe that that's what society paints. Men are supposed to be masculine. They're supposed to be tough, and it's hard to get through the heart. So I'm grateful for your aunt, and I'm grateful for your friend, for JP, that literally helped you heal, because that's exactly what that was. Yeah. That was so good. Yep. Is there any closing remarks? When I say it was so good, Brandon, you dropped so many gems.
Yes.
I struggle with my identity because I didn't know where I came from. Like that right there.
I really did. Nah, for real.
It was so good.
Because I don't even know my dad. I don't know nothing. Just like, all right, so now I'm just trying to do stuff.
Right.
Just imitating other things that I see in other
quick fixes.
Yeah.
Trying to fill a void, literally.
Like, see, and I would try. I'm like, this ain't me.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
And it's something, that conviction, it's crazy, the conviction, but you will go against the conviction. You'll go against it because you want to fill this void that is empty, that you can't figure out, how do I really fulfill this void? That's so good. Do you have any closing remarks? When I say so good, so good.
I wanted to say, y'all, just thank you for giving me the opportunity and the space to present this. Even this right now itself is still healing.
Yeah.
Because that being able to talk about this in a healthy manner and not talk about it angry, this is really fresh myself. But usually I get upset if I talk about my dad, but now I'm like, no, I ain't upset about it.
Yeah. And I think that's when for me, that's when you know that you're healed. Because when you talk about it and you still get angry, it's like, all right, well, we ain't healed yet. But it's like when you're able, like you said, when you're able to speak from it from a healthy place, like, okay, yep, this is what happened and this is what it is, and not feel that anger in your heart. That's how you know, okay, I'm healed, I'm good.
Yep.
So I'm able to share this. Okay, I'm healed and I'm good.
Yes.
Yes. I appreciate you. I'm not even joking. And it's funny because you said to me, yo, when you gonna have me on? Right? You did. You said it like I think it was maybe about January or February you said it. And I was like, March. And I'm like, I'm like, no, it's Women's Month. I can't have you on in March. But I'm grateful because you came back up in the comments to remind me that what you were coming on for something completely different.
Yeah.
God was so ordained. And I tell my guests I tell my cousins on here, but I tell my guests, like, God handpicked you. It's, you know what I mean? It's never me. If you didn't say anything and then people were asking about you, that, you know what I mean? That wouldn't happen. God picked you. I see you. I'll put you right to the forefront. So I appreciate you for saying yes. And you said it like, yeah, this ain't no problem. So I'm grateful and I'm honored. I really am that you were on, and then you were being so transparent, because I don't know, you know what I mean, where people are, but that would have been tough for me to share, you know what I mean, unless I was completely healed. So I really appreciate you sharing that. I'm not even joking. I'm so honored. I really appreciate you coming on to share it. Can you please let people know, because you are DJ? I told y'all he knows every line dance song there is possibly to know. Ones that are not even out yet, he knows them.
I
So so tell everybody where to follow you at on social media platforms or how to book you.
Got you. So if you want to book me, you can book me through my my email, which is DJ Bodak, DJ BODAK booking BOOKING at gmail.com. Also, you can follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at BODAK_ENT. That's Bodak Entertainment. I am LLC is legit. It's official. I pay my
That's right. Let him know.
That's what you can look me up on there. I'll get right back to you. I'll send you emails and you a little invoice and all that. We can move on.
I appreciate you. I really do. I cannot even thank you enough. I'm so serious. All right, y'all. I show my boy Brandon some love, y'all. Bodak. Show him some love. I'm not even joking. Show him some love. It be people on here, but y'all don't be saying nothing. I know y'all be getting something out of it, because it ain't no way I got something out of what he said. Yep. I got two things out of it. You dropped so much, but it was two things that literally is permeating. So yes. Show him some love, y'all. Book him if y'all need a DJ. So listen, we're back here next Monday. When I say y'all, I have nothing. So I'm just going to let God deal with me and give me something. But one thing I did want to say, y'all, listen. I was nominated. I know y'all know by now because it's been all over my social media, but I was nominated for America's Favorite Teacher by somebody. I'm assuming it's one of my students. Thank you so much. I have literally made it to the top 5. Like, this is insane. But the problem is I need to make it to the next quarterfinals. The only way I can do that is if I'm number 1. And right now, I lost my spot. I'm number 3. So please, I know I've been number 1 since March. I don't understand what the problem is. I'm so serious. I'm not even joking. And I just checked it. I'm like, dang, I'm number 3. What? So I need y'all, please. I will drop the link in the comment section, but it was also on my page. Click that link anywhere on my page. Please go to my page, Teacher Michelle. Y'all already know because y'all on here, but go to my page, click that link, y'all. Please, I don't ever ask for money. I'm not asking for money. I'm asking for you to give me a free vote. However, if you feel led to sow a seed, please sow a seed. It is for a good cause. The money does not go to me. It goes to Teach for America, which helps teachers to teach that's right. Yes, vote. It helps teachers to teach during their grad school while they're in grad school. So it helps them to get the experience in the classroom, and then the next year they usually teach. So full time. So we need teachers, y'all. We are struggling out here with teachers because they don't like to pay and times is hard. Look, I'm like, and the times is hard with these kids. So please, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Thank you again, Brandon. I 100% appreciate you. I'm so serious. I'm honored. That's my love to you. I'm so honored that you said yes to be a guest. But y'all already know what it is. See me next Monday. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my YouTube, Following the Victory Podcast on YouTube, where you can watch every episode from October 30th, I think it is, of last year. All right, y'all. So peace.